Welcome to Get Out Together, where each week we bring ideas, resources, and stories to help inspire couples to get out together and be active. I'm your host, Lance Snow, and today my special guests are Nicholas Marts and Lauren Howell. How are you both doing today?
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. So I just wanted to start by asking you some questions to introduce yourself to the audience, and we'll get into a little bit about what it means to be an active couple a little bit later. But Nick, I'm going to start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm 24 years old, and I'm a health coach and life coach, and I like to do speaking too, part of Toastmasters. Very passionate about exercise. It's been a part of my life for mainly all of my life since I was about 12. Did the typical stuff in high school, football, track and field. Have done a bodybuilding show after about a 200-pound weight loss.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, so I understand how good it feels, and really it's just about made it part of my lifestyle.
Great. Okay. Lauren?
I'm also 24, and we are getting married in 6 days.
Congratulations.
And I am a project engineer. I have a business background, but I've also been pretty active my whole life. Played basketball and volleyball and soccer in school, and run track as well. Currently training for a half marathon. So.
Great. Which half marathon?
The Pittsburgh
half.
One. Yep. It'll be the day after we get home from our honeymoon.
Wow.
I've never run a minute.
How's that going to feel? Are you going to be able to run while you're on your honeymoon?
Well, we'll be on a cruise, and I've been told they have a track and a weight room.
So you'll be running around the ship in circles? Hey, that's the best way to taper and get ready for a race, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so, it sounds like when it comes to being busy, most people claim they're busy. Everyone has something going on. And when you ask anyone, they are busy. But you guys seem to be pretty busy. With planning the wedding, and you're staying in shape, and you just got a lot going on. You have a move coming up here. So how taxing is it on your lifestyle? Because you mentioned you made things lifestyle. What are some of the challenges that you find with staying in shape or being active, or even being active together as a couple, and now this busy time in your life, and then maybe some examples of how you try to overcome that? Nick, I'll start with you.
Good question. Mainly, it's just about making it a priority and realizing how good it really is for you. A lot of people don't realize, that we're meant to move.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of exercising, most people like to go watch TV for hours. Mm-hmm. They find different things to do. Mm-hmm. The main activity for people, especially in America, is to go out to eat. Why not make it some kind of exercise event? You actually have a better time, you feel better after, mm-hmm. and you have no idea who you can meet. I mean, it's just cool. Like, go train for a 5K.
Right.
Go walk a mile with some friends. It gets your endorphins up, you have great conversation. After a big meal, you feel tired. Who really wants to feel like that? So really, it's just making different choices. It's not really a challenge. I mean, the only challenge most people come across is really just realizing that they actually can do it if they just choose to do something different.
Good point. Lauren, how about you? Have you found a struggle in, I know wedding planning takes a bit. It does. It's taxing on you. Yeah. Have you been able to, is it a challenge, or is it part of your lifestyle that you've been able to stay fit, not get too overwhelmed with the wedding, and you've been able to manage things, or what are some of the struggles?
Well, right now, not living together, we don't see each other all that often, but we do try to make it a point. We see each other on the weekends. We try to do something active together, even if it's just take a walk. But we've been trying to run together on Saturday mornings. So I'm more of a runner, and he likes sprinting, and I like long distance. So we're trying to come to a meeting there. But,
find that common middle ground, middle distance running.
But it has been a little bit of a struggle, especially with wedding planning, and I've never done a half marathon before, so this is the longest distance I've ever trained for. And I hurt my foot a couple weeks ago, so it slowed me down a little bit. But the nice thing is I work at Westinghouse Electric Company, and they have a gym in the basement, so I can
Nice.
usually stop down there, and even with my foot bothering me, I can get on the elliptical for 30 minutes and stay active. So I've tried to keep it a priority. He's better at it than I am, but keeping it there. So.
Well, that's great. Well, one of the things I like to say, and in some of my blogs I've mentioned this, with couples, it is hard to find time to be together. And one of the things I like to tell people is, you know, one of you has something that you really like to do, and sometimes individually. You've done it in the past, so in this case, running. You love the long distance run, and you know, you're learning to like long distance running. But it's something you guys can do together and share. Just like when I went with my wife, and we were going through wedding planning, I liked the mountain bike, but she wasn't quite the mountain biker, but she was a long distance runner. So we were trying to meet each other halfway.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing about that is she became a pretty decent mountain biker, and we actually ended up doing a marathon for our second anniversary. Basically, we went to Cincinnati, did the Flying Pig Marathon for our second anniversary. So it was just kind of neat because I wasn't so much the runner, but I ran because I like triathlons. And so it's really cool to hear your story and how you do those things and how you're helping run with her so she can get ready for the marathon. So that leads me to some of the things you guys do together. So you're running, and you do take some walks. And what are some of the other things that you're either doing now or you've done in the past or you hope to do that are, you know, sort of active, get out there things, rather than sitting in front of the TV and watching Biggest Loser, people that are actually doing it? How are you getting out and actually doing it? Are there things that you're looking to do?
Well, right now, it's a daily routine for me. Monday through Friday, I wake up, then I go straight to the gym usually, or I go for a run. And I kind of map out earlier in the week, you know, what I want to do. I'm not really training for anything right now, besides I'm doing a leg in the marathon. It's about 6 miles,
okay.
which is somewhat of a stretch for me, but I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. But
That's awesome.
really, it's just making it a routine. That's been the best way that it's worked for me.
Good.
I think he means together. What are we doing together?
Okay. Oh, okay. But together, mainly on weekends. And you know, we ran in the past, and we have a couple friends, like Matt and Katie, who are who like to be active. And there's really a lot of stuff to do down in Pittsburgh. There's rock climbing. There's an event or 10 every weekend.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a marathon,
right,
like the one that's coming up. It could be anything. It could be a walking event. So.
There's a group of people that get together at my old high school in the gym. We've done that once. They play basketball on Saturday nights, and both of us play basketball.
That's really cool.
I tried.
So we've done that once, and when we have more time, I think we both like to do it again. And it's a bunch of, it's just a bunch of random people with not a whole lot of connection getting together and playing some pickups. So
that is great. That's a wonderful example of doing something other than going to a movie or going out to dinner. I mean, you're still being active, you're being social with other people, but you're doing something. And when I say get out together, you know, a lot of times we focus on training for a marathon together, or even the playing basketball thing. But yeah, I just want people to go out, like extreme antiquing or something. You know, get out there, and I know some people that really do take it to the extreme and make it an adventure. But even just walking around and
it's a good time.
Yeah, just go out and, you know, antiquing, or even like to even default to the wine tasting. Yeah, there's potentially some overindulgence, but if you're responsible about it and you're living an active, fit lifestyle, you know, going out together and making that connection and just doing something that's unique and interesting and different is pretty cool too. So, but I love that example.
We actually had been talking. We didn't get to it before all the wedding planning kicked in, but I think we'd like to do it in the summer or fall sometime. There's so many coffee shops around, like the south side, or even where I currently live in Squirrel Hill. We've talked about doing like a coffee tasting, because we're both coffee people, and like getting a small and splitting it and just like moving around to see where we like best. And we hadn't got to it yet, but we've been talking about it for a while. So.
Just walking around the city, exploring new.
That's a great idea.
And here's a good example for you. I just moved to Avalon, and we wanted to check out the new area, so we literally just walked around for a few hours and checked out all the little shops.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were out there walking for a while and just talking to new people and getting out there on the weekend.
That's a great way to connect. I mean, just really, and learn about your new surroundings. It's so cool. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good. Well, so in terms of, I mean, you laid out some great ideas and examples. Nick, I want to talk a little bit about your story, a little about your past. You mentioned a tremendous weight loss, and then making fitness a lifestyle. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story? Because there's probably folks that may be watching that are maybe struggling with weight or being motivated to get out there and be fit. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep it shorter, but I was 12 years old, I was 5'10", I was about 300 pounds, and there was no muscle, as some people would say. It's all muscle. It wasn't. But even then I saw a picture of myself and I realized I was real different from the other kids. And then I looked at a picture of a Men's Health magazine and said, I want to look like that guy, and someone told me it was impossible. So it was kind of anger that motivated me at first, but I got into studying exercise and nutrition a lot, and that's when I first got my computer. So I was on websites all the time studying it since I was 12, all day, as much as I could.
Wow.
Just to see, what was going on in my life. I couldn't even walk up a hill. A flight of stairs
Really?
was a huge obstacle. And it really bothered me because I would see other people run up it, jog up it, laugh, play, and I couldn't even wear jeans because they couldn't find jeans big enough for me.
Wow.
I had to go to special stores at like 13 years old, big and tall.
Especially at that age, that's got to be really rough.
Yeah. When you're that age, kids are pretty honest.
Yeah.
So you've probably heard every name in the book multiple times.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and then I was huge, so I got talked into playing football. I really did not like it at first, but I had natural talent in it. I used to skip practice a lot, but I still loved exercise and nutrition, and as the years went on, I got more and more, I guess, kind of obsessed with it, and ended up being an athlete, got a college scholarship towards the end of high school, played 2 sports, exercised on my own and off time, and ended up losing 70 pounds in one summer.
Wow.
Gained a lot more muscle, and then gained a little bit of that fat back too, because going to college football, they wanted me to be as big as possible. And I was an exercise science major at Slippery Rock University, and I didn't like the way I looked. And my joints were starting to hurt. I was strong, but my knees were hurting, my shoulders were hurting, and it was just bothering me. And I worked at the fitness center there, and it was a neon green shirt, and I still had a pretty big gut. And I hated to look in mirrors every time I looked in a mirror. And then from losing so much weight, there was a little bit of skin too.
Yeah.
So Slippery Rock holds a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And I decided, after being told it's probably impossible to do the show because all that weight loss, it does change your body, it changes your metabolism permanently. There's a lot of factors, a lot of changes. Your body will always have those fat cells, and bodybuilding show seemed impossible because no one that's lost that much weight got a tummy tuck that I could find has ever done it before. So I did end up getting a tummy tuck, and lost another, from the tummy tuck till the bodybuilding show, about another 65 pounds. And really what I did, and this is after I quit football my sophomore year, so it took about 2 years to fully heal, recover, and lose that weight. So it was an ongoing battle for really 10 years. 10 years about with the weight loss and everything. But for the end part and the biggest results, I yo-yo dieted even then too.
Really?
But it was still pretty much 2 solid years of discipline to get me to that bodybuilding show. But even after that, I did relapse and gained a bunch of weight back, and that's when I really realized that it has to be pure lifestyle. And the reason all that happened was I basically experimented on myself. I said, I'm studying exercise science. I know I'm in shape. I'm not where I want to be. So let's use what I'm learning on me to see if it works.
Your own guinea pig, your own science experiment.
Exactly.
And why not?
Exactly. So it ended up working. And then the final step was just after gaining a bunch of weight back after the show. It wasn't too much, but it was really unmotivating to exercise after going through that because I had severe dehydration. I was in the hospital. I have a lot of scar tissue in my midsection permanently, so I dehydrated myself a lot more than I should have. And I was sick for weeks. I missed a lot of class because I was sick. I was in the hospital. Usually for the one time I was in overnight, pretty much. I had to get hooked up to an IV for electrolytes, and really, I was like, felt like I almost died, really.
Wow. So you went one extreme to the other.
It was. It was.
And then at the end of that, after that incident, it sounds like you just realized that it was all about lifestyle, and you sort of course corrected to change your life the way that you really, really wanted it, and it was going to stick.
Exactly. I was at an extreme, but I realized what needed to happen to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I may have done that show, but I didn't do it the healthiest way possible.
Yeah.
But now it's just about, living an active lifestyle and being healthy.
You know what, the thing I pick out of your story that really strikes me is desire.
Mm.
Because a lot of folks out there, they lack the desire. People are telling them, but the only motivation truly comes from within. And you didn't make a change until you really felt that you wanted to, whether it was anger or you just didn't like the way you looked or whatever it was. That's what really made you take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and just kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, with everyone, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have relapses. You're going to fall. You're going to stumble. You're going to fail. You're going to get dehydrated. Hopefully not. But it's not going to be a perfect scenario. I mean, we watch things on TV like The Biggest Loser, which is fantastic, but that they have stumbles. They get injuries. Sometimes they just don't lose any weight, even when they're working out 12 hours a day or whatever they do on the show. So it's just interesting to hear that the bottom line, when you boil it all down, is you just had a desire to just completely change your life.
Yeah.
And that's just a wonderful story. And now you're a personal trainer, and you're doing life coaching, and you're trying to not only help yourself, and you've made that lifestyle, and I'm sure you have to work to maintain it, but also to help other people, be it decisions about fitness or decisions about lifestyle, whatever it may be. That's an awesome story.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lauren, I know that you've actually had I don't want to call it a battle with weight, but you had a story as well with and I believe you said Weight Watchers was sort of the helper in that, and again, that kind of boils down to the desire. Just without getting too much into it, or how much of you want to share about it, can you tell us just about your story?
Yeah, I was very active in high school, and I was decently in shape, but when I went to college, I had a drastic lifestyle change. I went from playing 3 varsity sports to really only playing pickup basketball whenever I felt like it, and not really much in college. So I gained a lot of weight in college, and tried a bunch of those little, lose it quick things, like the Special K diet and the green tea diet and little things like that, but nothing really helped. So when I graduated from college, my mom actually lost about 50 pounds through Weight Watchers.
Great. And
started working for Weight Watchers kind of as an accountability, because Weight Watchers requires that you stay within your goal to work for them.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about them.
Yeah, so all of the receptionists and the leaders that lead the meetings, all of them will have a pin saying, I lost this much weight, and they're required to stay within their goal to be a leader.
Wow.
And so she's done that, and that's helped her be accountable, and she's kind of been my accountability partner, at least, especially until I met Nick. And I lost about 35 pounds through Weight Watchers since I graduated from college. But it was a combination of eating healthy, which is what Weight Watchers stresses, and getting back into an active lifestyle, which for me was running primarily until I met Nick, and he actually got me into weightlifting. I had never weightlifted in my life, and I was actually terrified of weight machines.
Really?
Yeah, it's just it was a complex. All the guys are over there, like I stay on my elliptical, but he kind of brought me out of that a little bit. So I've broadened my view of exercise as well since meeting him.
That's really cool.
It's been good.
You mentioned accountability, and I kind of want to touch on that real quick. So you both have stories. You're both trying to stay fit, and you have a lifestyle. What's that mean to each other in a relationship, to try to be able to support each other in your goals and try to stay in shape and maybe even feed off of each other's energy when it comes to being active and fitness? What do you think, Nick? How's that affect you guys, and what's that mean to you?
I know, having not had too much support in college until the end during this show, I really realized, at the end of the night, it is you struggling with this battle on your own. However, if you have a support system, it makes the world of difference, just to realize you're not the only one out there.
Yeah.
And for a couple in this situation, you know, we're engaged, we're getting married next week, to already be living a healthy lifestyle, it's amazing. You know, it make you feel better all the time. You can help cook for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You exercise with each other, and it's really accountability all the time. So if one's not too motivated and the other's real motivated, and one starts to slip a little bit, the other's going to see that.
Yep.
If I want to eat at night, which is an issue I have and I've always struggled with, is night eating. If Lauren's standing there right by the fridge, like, probably not going to eat.
That's
just takes
too
it to
funny.
the next level.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Which I don't necessarily do that.
She doesn't, but
but you could,
But I
theoretically.
could help.
if I needed it, she would. She definitely would.
That's a really interesting, and my wife and I are going through the same thing. We've just had our third child, and you know, she's going to start exercising, and we're both holding each other accountable. And you know, for get out together, I almost call active couples, being an active couple, like the built-in buddy system. Meaning your accountability partners, you're in it together, you can encourage and motivate each other. When you're out doing things, you know, when you're a scuba diver, they always say you have to have a buddy. It's the buddy system. When you go mountain biking or running, especially trail running or something like that, hiking, you don't go alone. I mean, I've done it, and you know, I've been very lucky. Nothing happened to me. But it's not as cool or as fun, you know, going by yourself as when you have somebody. So, you know, being an active couple is kind of like having a built-in buddy system. It's like automatic. It's pretty cool.
And it's hard too when you're like trying to stay healthy if the spouse or significant other is not on board. Because if you look at people that are having struggles with tobacco, if one's trying to quit and the other is not, it's going to make it 10 times as hard for the individual to quit, if it's even possible. And that's the same thing with weight. If one's trying to make healthy choices with eating and the other one's cooking fried food all the time, how is that going to happen?
It's not.
Exactly.
It's not. And even in our house, I mean, sometimes with the kids, sometimes we bring in some cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
If one of us has a cookie, the other one starts to.
Yeah.
So we've
It's all
got to
right.
manage that. I mean, it's okay to have them sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know how quickly a bag of Oreos can go.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that. I can completely see how it would be hard.
And it's very helpful, I mean, just to mix things up even, just to get out of, like, because we both bring different sides of the active or the healthy lifestyle to the table. Like, he has the most boring food routine in the world. Plain chicken, I mean, it's healthy, but I'm looking forward to mixing that up for him, and I have a pretty boring workout routine, and he's helped me mix that up. So, I mean, I think with it, other than just accountability, it's just nice to mix it up.
Change it up a little bit.
Oh, that's great. Well, at this point, I want to kind of wrap it up. So just want to ask both of you for your advice to other couples out there, other couples that want to either seek to be active or stay active, or even young couples that are just, you know, getting married soon. Well, what are some of your advice? Nick, I'll start with you.
Stop making excuses.
I like that.
Just
I
go
like
do
that.
it. Absolutely. That's the first step. And if your friends are constantly saying, go out to eat, go out to eat, go out to eat, come over and eat, offer alternative suggestions, and don't be scared to do that. It might be a little awkward at first, and they'll think, you want to go for a walk? Just tell them, try it out. They're going to like it more than likely. I mean, it's what we're meant to do.
Right.
Just stop making excuses and make time for it, because we're meant to move.
Yeah. Lauren, any advice for anybody out there?
I would kind of just piggyback off of that. Yeah, I mean, you have to make it a priority together, kind of like what we said. I mean, we have our priorities. I mean, I'm very family oriented. We're very God oriented, and exercise is right up there. Like we know it's important to be active, and you have to make time for it. And especially during wedding planning, it's been rough. But you know, getting up 30 minutes early and going for a run right before work isn't a bad idea if it'll help you. You know, it helps clear your mind sometimes when you're planning and stuff. So
Great. Good.
just make your priorities important and agree on them together.
But that's important to communicate and agree. Good advice. So I'm going to wrap it up now, but I want to give just you the opportunity to do a real quick shameless plug on your business, if you could, just you know, like a minute's worth of what you do and
Awesome.
Some opportunity
Thank
for
you.
anyone watching.
Yeah, I'm planning on starting a life coaching company coming up soon, because if you've listened to what we just said pretty in depth and realized the skills needed to make things happen, you'll notice time management, you'll notice focus, you'll notice planning, you'll notice professional development, and mindset. And most of those are learned traits, and a life coach can help bring them out in you. Maybe you have one down, but you have never planned or tried to prioritize a day or a week in your life. You've never planned out meals for the week, which saves so much time. Maybe you've never even simply made a grocery list and you just go to the store blind and buy whatever you like at the time, which is typically a bad idea, especially when you're hungry.
Especially when
so
you're hungry.
Working with a life coach can help you hone these skills, and not even just learn a whole bunch of new things, but really just solidifies that what you're thinking about just might be a good idea, and really take a look at one's life and either offer suggestions or just see what they want to change, see what's bothering them, because a lot of the time people have 100 things going on in their head that they want to change, but they have no one to talk to about it, no one they can trust, no one that's done it before.
They have no support system. No support system.
Exactly, and they've never met someone else who has had these issues or been through them. I've been through a lot of them. I might be young, but I've been through a lot of them. So the life coaching business is just it's a way to make yourself better. It's a personal development program, if I was to sum it up in one sentence. Really just to make the individual the best individual they can be, the best version of themselves they can be.
I like it. Well, good. And just for anyone viewing today, if you contact Nick and you're looking for some life coaching, if you mention seeing him on my show, you're going to give them a 30 to 60 minute free consultation for a session just to kick things off as a nice perk to funding you through our show. And I'll put that in the show notes as well. So
awesome.
Make sure that's noted. So that's going to wrap it up. So I appreciate both of your time. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding. I wish you the best. Best wishes. Thank you for sharing some of the intimate details of your lifestyle and what you do together, and some of the advice that you were sharing. It was fantastic advice. And I just want to thank the audience for joining us on this episode of Get Out Together. I'm your host, Lance Snow, and I just want to remind you to get out, get active. I think more importantly, just get out together. Thank you.